Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. We are on day 8. We are building a license key server so that developers of macOS apps can sell their software. It will come with a landing page. All they have to do is connect their Stripe account to get paid. It will also come with the ability for them to push new releases to their users. And this will all be handled for them because we are building a library that they will integrate into their product, their macOS app, and it will automatically check for updates and download them. Let's get to it. We've been working on this thing for far too long. I think we squashed a bunch of bugs. I was going to get streaming earlier today, but one of my lights was flickering, and for some reason, it was like pulse width modulation at the perfect frequency to make this camera stream scroll. So I had to figure that out. Finally, just yanked the light out, so hopefully the lighting is good. And I also got a nice extension going into our NeoVim setup. Not NeoVim, Pi setup. Because if you go back and you watch day 7, you're going to find out why this has been taking us so long. Our AI went off the rails and it started creating work trees, get work trees, and didn't tell us, did a bunch of all the work we were looking for, trying to get done, and it just kept swapping back and forth. And finally I was going crazy. I thought, where did these features go? We worked on them. Where did they go? They were in all these work trees. So I had the AI go through all the work trees and pull all that work into one and commit it to main. That's where we're at. Now I had it create this extension. It gives us all sorts of nice alerts if we have worksheet problems. So let's get started, because right now we have a pretty sweet extension that I haven't actually tried out yet, but we're going to find out how it works. All right, let's get going here. Let's pull this extension up. If you're just tuning in and this is the first video you have watched, you're going to want to hang on tight, because we are going to build some shit. We're going to deploy some shit, and you're going to be part of it. If you hop into the live stream, either on X, on Twitch, or on YouTube, we will be interacting. Shoot me your ideas. If you see the AI going off the rails, let me know. You guys just sat by and watched it happen the other day. Let me know. All right, let's do this thing. I'm going to pull this down here so that you all can actually see what is going on in the world of my computers. By the way, if you're just tuning in, we are coming at you live from inside a van. I travel full-time in this van for the last 4.5 years with me and my girlfriend. So if she happens to come in here and jumps behind me, it's probably pouring rain out there, and it might actually happen. So all of the things in this van are powered off of solar power and batteries. If you do not believe me, I'm going to show you right now what that looks like, and then we will jump into programming this stuff. Doing a quick battery check right now. We have a 48 volt system, a 12 volt system. 48 volt system is kind of our backup system for cloudy days. But we are at 88.7%, and we are currently getting 1.8 amps because it is cloudy and it's going to start raining soon. But the good thing is, our battery capacity all morning has been steadily climbing and now tapering off. 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So we got enough to stream. Let's get to it. The stream is coming to live over Starlink, a Starlink Mini no less. Let's do this thing. Okay, so I'm here. I'm looking at the latest. What has been going on with our PR? Okay, so yesterday we ended at this spot where I had it push the updates to main. It seems like that's what it's done. And it would definitely help if I put the right screen on for you guys. I think one of the things I want to do is get my AI to watch what I'm doing and automatically switch to the right screen. That would be pretty cool. Okay, so we pushed everything to main. Checks are good. I restarted Pi with our new extension, and I've got an action required. There is one unapproved work tree in this repository that I have not approved yet. Oh man, it's working. Let's go check it out. Okay. So it's saying that we are currently open in the main work tree, but there is this codex one. I think this is the branch in the directory for that work tree. So there's one work tree in here that I have not yet approved. I'm pretty sure this is the work tree that we have been working off of this whole time. Yeah. Okay. So I think what we need to do is approve this work tree. But what we should do is log into it. Let's see. Work tree. Approve. Okay. Oh, whoa, wait. Oh, no, that's crazy. What just happened there? That's not right at all. Already approved. I think our extension probably is a little messed up. Let's go back. See what's going on. All right. Let's see. So here's our project now. When I did work tree list, did we get like a number? It'd be cool if they were numbered, so all I had to do was like send it the number maybe. Let's see here. Okay, so I just went through and tried to use the work tree thing, and it's saying that there's one in here. So this is what I'm seeing in one of my projects. So actually it's telling us to just run work tree. Oh, I can actually scroll through these things and select them. Maybe that's what I'm gonna do. It didn't do anything. So I ran work tree. like it said to be when I use down arrow to go to that says all right, just so that I know we're not doing something crazy, let me reopen this. All right, so then if I go work tree and I select that work tree, but it did nothing. Also, if I copy path, it is displayed. All right, so basically, this extension doesn't quite work yet. I was hoping it's just gonna, like, I was gonna prompt it, get it going, and we'd start, but this is a start today. Fortunately, it's just the way it's gotta go. Okay, so while that gets going, I think what we'll do is we'll just go to that work tree directory and start using it. Maybe we shouldn't because we already merged everything into main. Yeah, let's not do that. Let's just pick up where we left off. Which is here. Okay, now that we've merged everything into main, I do not want you to create a new work tree right now or a new branch. Actually, you can create a new branch, that's fine. But do not create a new work tree. Yes. Anytime I find something where the voice thing isn't quite picking up what I want it to print out, we open it up and we add that to our dictionary. The dictionary's growing, it's getting better. So I just said 3, and it made it 2. Let's make it one. Now, I want you to close the running macOS app, and then I want you to make sure you've rebuilt it, recompiled it, and run it again, because I'm going to go through and I'm going to test this thing myself now. I also want you to bring up the license app bin dev server so that I have that running and I can use that as well. And we also need it because the app is going to reach out to it when I put the license in, and I need it so that I can get a new license to put into the app and try that whole workflow. All right, let's see how that works out. There's like a 50-50 chance that it starts complaining to me that I have like this requirement that it only works within a work tree, but we'll see what happens. Crazy how many tokens I have to burn just to get this thing started. Like it's like 2 commands. I could have just done it myself. Okay, so it's saying that it fixed the work tree problem. Selecting an approved linked work tree shows that we launched. Okay. The only problem is if I relaunch, I think I'm going to lose my Pi session. I wish there was like a current working directory or like a CV. I wish there was a way to move Pi's working directory to somewhere else, but I don't think there is. Should probably make this a little bigger for you guys, huh? This time just tell me. What's going on, Lucky? Welcome back. Should we try the work tree thing? Let's say we give it a shot. Let's see what happens. If I open up a new pie, work tree guard, action required, one unapproved work tree, or tree. Now if I go down and select it, okay, now it is approved. Okay, selected. What do I now do? Start. I'm guessing that's what it's got to do, but yeah, I think if we select it and we approve a work tree, we should probably print out some instructions saying to log into that directory. Just because that's probably like the workflow that we're going to have. I also don't understand what the switch work trees is. That doesn't help. I hope you guys can see my screen. Oh boy. Let's do this. I'm gonna drag this thing. All right. So worktree help. Okay, so worktree switch. Show the relaunch command to enter worktree. Well, that's useless. Why can't we just do it, you know? Okay, so let's pretend I come in here and I go worktree. And I see the work trees. Oh, I think I need to open that. Let's try it. And I go down and I select this work tree. It now gives me the correct command. That's not the correct. I don't think we want the stuff at the end there. But I know that if I were to run this, right? CD into there. I'm going to put a new work tree. Okay, so now the work tree guard's saying we're in the correct work tree. It's giving us the branch name. We're in an okay status because there isn't some broken work tree lying around. We haven't approved yet. Good. But question is, if I leave, okay, so I'm in this work tree directory now. I don't think my Pi sessions are going to be in here. It's not going to move over. So if I'm in like a long running session, my session doesn't move over to the work tree now. That's not good. Don't know if there's much we can do about that other than copying that session file there. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about that right now. We'll figure that out at some point. Okay, you know what? Go ahead and close that all up. And yeah, just stop that stuff that's running. And, you know, just close the things we just started. I don't need it now. All right, so we're going to do that. And then we're going to get into our work tree properly. So now, this is our old work tree. Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah. Let's get into a proper work tree. All right, so I'm not going to get into this one. It would also be really cool if when I do if one of the options was to delete and prune the work trees, like, or delete and prune like the selected work tree. So if I scrolled that, like I hit the down arrow key and I go down to one of the work trees, I could press like the it would delete work tree. Side quests, man, they're getting unreal. They are getting unreal. We're supposed to be working on our macOS app. We're supposed to be vibe coding some stuff. Instead, we're rebuilding our agent right now. Agent harness. All right. What is my I want to rename it. Hey, there it goes. Nice. So this is our extension. This is our server. Okay, so that stopped all that stuff. Here's what we're gonna do. I think this is the easiest thing. We're gonna clear this. We're gonna start a new work tree. So if I go in here and I go to status, we have a schema file that hasn't been committed. Just that a second. Let's just do a hard reset. So, okay. We're gonna create a new get work tree. So it's gone. So in here, we should be able to go and do tree 8 pi. Let's call it upgrade. Okay, so hopefully it created that work tree. Let's see what happens. Hey, we're in our new work tree. Okay, so now we're in our work tree. I thought I had to do like an init thing. Hey, I thought we added the ability to like init the work tree using like the codex stuff. Did you add that in? I'm not seeing it in like the list of commands. I run work tree help. I swear we did. Let's assume that I've already like opened the work tree with pi, like I CD'd to it after creating the work tree, and now I'm running the init inside of the current working directory, which is that work tree. The thing that's like really nice about like a higher level application like the Codex macOS app, you can just like create a work tree, do like all these things and switch to it. The problem with a terminal is your current working directory is your current working directory. So, I mean, I guess you have the same problem with an application, but it's Pi doesn't have like a great way apparently of changing it. As far as I can tell. This is the really cool thing about Pi though, is If there's something that doesn't exist in this agent harness, I can just add it. We're in the correct directory. We're going to start a new session here. And we're going to run work tree. What did we call it? Work tree init env. Initialize this work tree environment. Yes. Didn't do anything. Okay, so I just went into a work tree in. Doesn't matter. Get this going at some point today. So let's run that for a minute. Is there any way we could print out like the last like 10 lines or something of the output of that process that's running too? I should have gotten all this done before I started the stream, but I didn't want to keep everyone waiting. So here we are. What's happening to me? What I need to do. Try this again. There we go. That's more like it. An ugly UI, but it works. Now we have a codex like work trees, an environment set up inside of our Pi, and we have a work tree guard. So if for some reason our agent decides it just wants to create a new work tree and start working in it, we will get an immediate alarm in our Pi session that tells us that there's a new work tree that we did not approve. If I had had this 3 days ago, we'd probably be done with this project by now. So it looks like part of the work tree setup, it just runs bin reset on the repository, the monorepo, so all the schemas get brought back up. The migrations all get run for every app in our monorepo. It's a lot, not gonna lie. But I think it's important to exercise all the things in the repo when we do this stuff, because you never know how something you do is going to break something else. Why does it say standard error? You're kind of like cutting off the lines. Can we make this a little wider? Or at least like as wide as the window, the terminal window is? Also, if it's possible, can you word wrap the lines? Or line wrap their lines or whatever it's called? Cool, so it's running the seeds. Boy, this takes a while. But the beauty of this now is I can work on multiple things at the same time. Let's start another one just in case we have something else that we want to do. So, call this meeting. Call this work tree 1. We'll call this work tree. All right, this is still going, and then as soon as this extension, then it fixes the extension, we'll run it again, and then we'll have another work tree set up in case we want to do 2 things at once today. And we can also test out the changes for our work tree now. So what we're going to do is go in here to reload this. It's going to reload all of our extensions. We're going to go work tree, create, pi, I don't know what to call it. Just call it work tree 2. So it created the work tree. Now I just got to switch to it. So now we are in our work tree 2 directory and our work tree 2 branch. Let's go work tree env. Yes, we want to do that. No, it did not fix that. Oh, that's so. I don't know what you did, but all you seem to have accomplished is you moved the thing that used to be centered vertically and horizontally. So now that it's moved all the way to the left on the x-axis, and it's centered on the y-axis now, but it's moved all the way to the left on the x-axis, but it's really small. It's not going all the way across the window that we have available for the terminal. Okay, so now we have the output here. When we start a new work tree, it actually assigns a port to that work tree. So we grab that port now, and that means that we can go and we can start it up inside our remote desktop here. Okay, why don't you start up the bin dev for the license app engine and bring it up on the screen. See what it does. Bin dev. All right, let's fix that one. Your dictionary. Maybe next time we'll get it right. Pretty sure it's already. Didn't it spit out a port that was running there? Maybe this is just the one it assigns it to. Yeah. Okay, I gotta get better at a keybind for the sneeze cam. Excuse me. Alright, let's go. It's starting to rain here. You can smell it in the air, and I am in the middle of a forest in the middle of Wyoming. It must be coming down out there because everything is in the air right now. You can smell the rain. All right, right now, I got set up like an emergency camera off, so I'll sneeze on you guys. I think I might need to like write a script or something. Yeah. Just now. I do that. Let's see. There's also a way to go. Let's try this real quick. See what happens. All right, we're good. We're good to go. Got a sneeze bind. So I got a sneeze. Bam. That's enough sneeze. Allergies, man. We're just out here in the woods, you know, trying to live. Just trying to live, man. Just let me live, man. Okay. We have got our stuff running here. As you can see, don't know if this is gonna work, but let's try it. Saying the extension got updated, but who knows? Use these things. Certainly not me. Work tree. Emit env. Did it? Fixed it. Ah, there it goes. It's just not making the lines go all the way across. Alright, so now we got a work tree running in case we need work tree 2 for later. But right now, what we need to do is go and get our app tested, get it running, and make sure that it's all working nicely, you know what I mean? Let's do that. Bring up our trusty remote machine. All right, so if we look, we have products, all of our products. Let's click the one. Here it is. Did it start up the app for us? Did not. Hey, I want you to rebuild the macOS demo app and start it up as well. That's in there. We want the macOS demo app for the license app. We restarted. I also just realized that we are running on GLM 5.2. It's fine. It's fine. It's working. Look at that. See, this is something that GLM 5.2 does. And if you were to go and try and have GPT 5.5 do this, it doesn't because it wants to burn tokens. So it just constantly pulls. But this model is like more efficient on tokens. I know I'm really hard on OpenAI and stuff, but like, there's like the disalignment of incentives is that even a word? I don't know. Okay, so it's checking the screen to see if it came up. Did. Oh, it didn't crash. It's still there. What are you talking about, man? Process didn't crash. It's there. Okay. Now what we're going to do... Stop that because it's being annoying. and we are going to run through it. Let's try it out. Okay, so first thing we got to do if we're a new developer is get our JSON thing here, and we paste it into our demo thing. And right now, if we look, the features are locked. There's no attestation of this device. Oh, uh-oh, it's ad hoc signed. That's not good. Okay, let's switch back over to the correct model here. All right, I need you to bring the demo app up, but this time it needs to be properly signed using my developer stuff with Apple so that I can use the secure enclave feature in the app. If you go look at the Swift code for the app, you'll know what I mean. Oh, that's not good. Let's see. You know what I need? I need like an extension that just prints out the compacted context. Like if I do a compact, give me like just that. And let me start like a new session with that. I wonder if there's something we can do that. Is there a way that you could add another command to our worktree command that would give me imagine, okay, so here's the problem. Imagine we're working for a long time on like a given branch, and then we decide that we want to create a new work tree off of it, right? Like let's say we're on main branch, we've been doing works for a while, we want to create a new work tree, so we create a new work tree, and then I need to like go over to that work tree and like start working from there. But the problem is I lose the whole session that I've been working from. So I'm wondering if there's a way that I can like do a compaction, but then like have it print out the compaction like output so that I could actually feed the session over in the other work tree. Like start a new session in that other work tree, but have like all the context compacted. Does that make sense? I actually think this would be a really good feature to have, not only for work tree stuff, but also because our session files get so long that Pi actually slows down. I've had this one session going for like 3 weeks now, and I know for a fact this model does like 50 tokens per second, but it's down to like 10, and I think it's because the session file is just so large. Pretty sure when I start Pi, uh-oh, uh-oh, what's going on? Okay, I did. Go ahead. Why do you keep starting this in terminal? First of all, we use Ghosty. Second of all, like you're in a terminal, so why are you starting up the actual terminal program? You can execute bash commands, and if you need to, use a login shell as part of that. I'm also pretty sure we have a make file that builds this app that you should use. And if we don't, we should probably have one. In fact, you should also put an agents.md in that app directory. With instructions like how to build the app properly using the makefile. Honestly, don't know if Pi reads like agents.md files in nested directories or not. Okay, so let's go back to what our guy over here is doing. He's saying created a work tree handoff command. Uses the current model to compact summarize the session. opens that generated prompt editor so you can edit it, saves it in the target work tree. Does Pi have its own sort of like compaction thing? What I'm wondering is maybe we can just like look at the session file for the given session and extract the like do an actual compaction and then extract the compaction line from the JSON-L file. What I worry about is like the model just not being very good at compacting itself, or possibly maybe like compaction being done on the back end of some of these model providers, and then they like send back the actual like compacted result. And it's like maybe sometimes better. I don't know if that's a thing or not, but it seems like it might be a thing. When you look at the Pi source code, like this, maybe like Pi has its own prompt of how it does compaction. I'm just not sure. But I could imagine that Codex is doing like compaction on their backend server for some of this stuff. Looks like Pi does have native compaction built into it. Interesting. Let's go back and check on our other stuff here. So we got this work tree. Should be good to go if we need it. Current keychain access blocker. What? Wait a minute. I don't think that okay, so let's back up here. Right now, you're running inside of Ghosty, which is actually running Tmux. So you're inside of Tmux, which is inside of Ghosty. And that's probably how we're going to run this usually. So the problem is you should be able to execute bash commands, but you might need a login shell for the commands to do the things you need to do through that. So just remember to append the login shell stuff when you run your bash command. But I don't think you need to like really mention launching a terminal app. I also don't think I don't know if Ghosty is even going to play into this. So let's add Ghosty to our list of our dictionary words. So we've had no problem building this app before. So you're doing something wrong, and you need to figure out what you're doing wrong, and you need to make it so that you can do this the right way yourself and build and sign the app yourself as part of just starting the app. Hopefully, if we get it to create a make file, it can just like run, make build, or like make run, and then it'll just work. But I don't know. Okay, so back to our other extension builder. Compat calls Pi's built-in compaction pipeline. So it was written to the session JSON as compaction pipe. Okay, so Pi's compaction is Pi side. So what I'm wondering is if it's possible for us to run that compaction thing and then create like a new Pi session file that could be resumed inside of that Git work tree. Because that would be really cool if we could do that. That way I can go to that Git work tree. I can just do like a Pi -R to like do the resume and resume that specific session ID for like the new JSON L session that we just like they created. And then like in that session file would be the compaction. So it's like it's starting from that place. Does that make sense? Ask me any questions if you have some. Oh, this is gonna be so sick if this actually works. Oh no! Why is that happening? Okay, you just did something very, very bad, which was you took over one of the Tmux windows that I was using and you prompted me for the password. Don't ever do that again. If you need me to unlock something, you should open up a new Ghosty terminal and ask for the password that way. I actually want you to create a goal to do this, and you should also test it so that make sure it works properly, and like run prior do like exercise this yourself to make sure it's working before you mark the goal as complete. So I told it like not to use ghosting. I told it I was in Tmux, so it took over my Tmux window and then prompted me for the unlock password, which is so ridiculous. Okay, continue. Now let's get back to this. Once we have this workflow down, then we can start working on our stuff. I mean, this thing actually is still trying to start the dang app. I don't know why. It's because we started from a new context and it doesn't have the old, like the way that it starts the app in its context anymore. So, like it needs to figure it all out all over again. Should probably just create a skill for this. Maybe you should also create a skill for this. So, but don't create the skill until we verified that you're able to start up and like sign the app properly and start up the app. But then you can create a new skill for starting up like a macOS app and signing it properly. But don't create the skill until you know that, until I come back and tell you that the app has been started properly and that it's working properly. Yeah, I created that goal. I created the goal and then did the patching. Then I had to get this goal. So, nice. I saved our bacon. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have trouble because I did not. I don't think this started up. Oh, yeah, Holo's running. Should be instant. I might have to increase the timeout for this thing. It looks like we got our app started now. Let's just verify. It's developer signed. Nice job. Did you create the skill yet? Oh, you did not create the skill yet. Okay, so you need to go create that skill now. Also, we should probably make sure that we're using like standard make actions like make build and make run. All right, fans, if you are just joining us, we are currently about to test our macOS app. We got it signed with our developer certificate. This is the demo app, and we're going to go through the whole process of what it's like to put in the config, what a user would do who purchased the app, putting in a license to activate the app, and then we're going to make sure that's working. Once that's working, we are going to start on the ability to push new releases and upgrades. Updates, so like the app can automatically update itself when the developers push releases and changes to the app. rated video. You guys can hear that or not. All right. Okay, so here's what we have now. We currently have a make file that builds the app bundle. It runs and opens the app. Good, that's what it's supposed to do. Push a new skill. Great, great. All right, we should be good to go. So let's continue on with our journey here. So if I open up our app, developer signed, it's good to go. All right, all right. Let's get our JSON configuration, put it in. This is basically what the developer is going to include in their app bundle. Okay, so we have an active config. Awesome. I want to test one thing that I'm not sure they fixed yesterday or not because of all like the workflow stuff that happened. Okay, we have a problem. I'm seeing two apps running. Okay, so I'm seeing a problem. We currently have two of these apps running. I think maybe as part of our make file, we need maybe like make run or something should print out a warning if there's already this app is already running, because you seem to have a problem with like knowing whether or not you need to kill the existing running app, because you don't really know the state very well. But maybe what we can do is add it to the make file, so that if we run make run, you'll know that there's already one running, and that we need to like maybe kill the existing running one. It's an old build or something like that. Let's do that. So usually what I will do is I will include like a PID lock file, so that when the app starts, only one of these apps can ever be running on the machine at any given time. But I actually want to avoid doing that with this demo app. I don't want to be writing lock files to people's machines if they want to run it. All right, so it detects that the process is already running now, prints a warning from our make file, quits existing app before opening the rebuilt bundle, sends term only if graceful quit fails. Okay, good, 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 good. All right, let's test it out. So we're gonna grab our JSON thing here. Wait a minute. Wait just a minute. I literally am still seeing two of these things running. Well, maybe this is running. It's just in my dock. Why did it add that? Remove from dock. All right, there we go. That's so weird. Okay, so let's grab the JSON here and we'll run that. Now, the thing that we added the other day was I need the ability to close this and reopen it, not lose the config. But I don't think it actually quit the app. So let me just do something here real quick. I'm gonna actually add this. Keep in dock. Now, when I go and I quit my app, let's quit now, and I reopen it, saying there's no active config. Okay. Okay, so one of the things that we did, or at least I was trying to do previously that I thought we merged into main, but I guess we didn't actually complete this. We need to be able to put the license configuration in, like the config from the product page, into the demo app and have it stored so that if I close the demo app and I reopen it, we don't have to put the config in again. Does that make sense? Also, there's a way to put a config file in with an environment variable for when we start up the app. And if that happens, then we definitely want to show the active config that's being used that was like loaded via the environment variable. And it got really cold. There's like a crazy lightning storm outside. I don't know if you guys were able to hear it over the microphone. But the temperature probably just dropped 30 degrees. It's very cold in here all of a sudden. I might actually have to go put a sweater on or something. Hold on, I'll be right back. item back. Man, it got cold so fast. Guess when you're at 9,000 feet of elevation, that's what happens. Go check out our extension builder, see where it landed. Okay, so it implemented the work tree handoff. That's kind of cool. So it creates a real resumable target work tree session and prints some stuff out. All right, that's cool. That's cool. I would also really like to make a generic handoff. Command, because I might also want to use this, but like stay in the same work tree. Yeah, so let's do that, but like I want it to like work the same way. But basically, I want it to stay in the same work tree. And the reason I want to do this is because sometimes when I'm working in a session for a really long time, the session file just gets absolutely massive. And I think that if I were able to do this like handoff thing and have a new session file to work from, then I would be able to, you know, just have that new session file and start working from there. And the session file would be much, much smaller, so like Pi would run faster. I think that's going to be really cool. I think that's going to help a lot. Ideally, we wouldn't have this problem, but we do. And I know like one of the issues too is I'll be using like the tree command and I lose track. Like if I've been using the same session for like 2 weeks and I've used the tree command a whole bunch to create a bunch of different branches, I will like try to reopen a session and I have no idea which one of the 100 branches I was just working from. Especially too because I will use the tree command to like fork and start another session, and I have them both like running in parallel with each other, and then I really have no idea which one to resume. so that goes. Don't call it quick build app. The new environment warning set. Okay, so this thing has been going, and it is working on the ability to save or persist the configuration so that we can see the current configurations. So let's go check out what's doing. Going to run Holo Observe, which is basically our model that goes and looks at what's on the screen. This is about like 70 gigs of RAM, roughly. But that is fine because we have 512 on this machine. And we're really not running anything else. But we will be, because we're about to build the coolest macOS app ever created. And it's going to be awesome. We're going to do local AI things. If you're just tuning in, for those of you who don't know, I'm streaming at you live from inside of a van. This van is fully powered off of solar, and we are streaming over a Starlink Mini. But one of the things I really want to do is I want to have like the van be its own entity, right? Like I want to be able to come in here and be like, hey van, turn the lights on. You know, you can do all that kind of stuff with Home Assistant, but I want the van itself to be like my chief of staff. So as I go and build more and more of these products out and I have to manage them all, I want it to like tell me when I need to take action and do things, you know? Or if the van just sits me like binge watching a show, it could be like, hey, get up, you lazy bum, we got products to build. You know, something like that could be pretty cool. All right, so the app is currently running from the rebuilt sign bundle. Waiting for the read-only reviews. Also spawned a reviewer to do reviews. Well, you're saying that's working, but it's not. Like, I'm going to give you a config, right? This is the config that's currently on the product page that we have open. And I want you to use this config, and I want you to start up the demo app with the config, and I should be able to see that config in the client configuration. Maybe it just doesn't understand what I'm trying to do. Okay, so when it starts it up with the environment variable, it gets injected in there. It says the active config source is that, but if I, okay, so it looks like maybe the environment variable works, but if I paste the config into the client configuration and then I restart the app, it doesn't persist it. Are we actually persisting the config somewhere? Because I feel like we should be, at least for the demo app. Yes, I didn't understand what I was trying to do. Holy moly. We already burned half of our credits for this session. I guess we have had the extension builder going this whole time. I think that handoff thing's gonna be pretty cool. It almost sounds like it's hailing out there. If you're just tuning in, do not forget to like and subscribe to this video and this channel on YouTube at Zayden Ryan on X, and on Twitch. Or just one of those platforms if that's your favorite, but you know, definitely do the YouTube one too. This channel's about to get real exciting as soon as this license thing is done. Let me tell you. It's got big plans. Big plans. Oh no, I made this whole pot of coffee that I have to drink at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Might be grinding for a while. Gotta farm some views, you know what I'm saying? Hey, it looks like it even created tests for this finally. That's nice. Okay, let's go back to our extension. This failure is architect system session. Okay, so it's still working on the handoff. Oh, let's switch back. So it's running Hello Observe, which means we should check out our app because it's checking it out. I hope it knows that it just started this app, and I think it's going to find out that the JSON configuration is not displayed in the configuration field. It says active config stored, but it is not actually displayed. Stored from this map. Where is it? Looks like the config got restored. It says it's restored, but in the JSON, the client configuration field, I actually don't see the JSON being restored in there. Guess it figure that all out on its own. I should just let it do its thing, right? Like it's an AI. It can see the computer just as good as I can. Maybe better. Probably not. Yeah, okay, wait a minute. If it knows that it... Okay, so it pasted in. Problem is, when the computer use tool runs, it puts out so much data that it fills up our context and now it has to look at that. I need that like SpongeBob scene change thing. It's like 1 hour later. That was actually pretty fast. So it relaunched. It looks like the JSON actually loaded in the client configuration. It's going to have a reviewer run, but that's fine. We know it's working now. So let's continue on. So we have our active config working. Let's grab a new license. Okay, so on this page, this is all the stuff that the developer would go through, but at the bottom here is this generate demo key. So we can grab that demo key now. We can paste it in. We can, okay, so currently we have features are locked. We're going to click register the license. Features are enabled. Let's go. Let's go. And we have it with Secure Enclave because we have properly signed this app using our Apple developer license, which enables the Secure Enclave features to work. Oh, it feels so good that it just works. But I'll bet you if I click check for updates, it won't work. Oh no, we got an error. And do you know what that means? It's time to implement updates. Let's go. Okay, looks like everything's working great. I want you to commit these changes and push them up. Push the branch up. Right. Yeah, there are no pre-existing changes, so if something changed on this branch, then you must commit it and push it up. It thinks it's pre-existing because as part of like the startup process, it's probably doing an install or something and updating the package. Okay. All right, awesome. Now we are going to move on to the next phase of this entire thing, which is enabling updates via Sparkle. So I want you to review where we're at with that in this code base. I suspect because right now when I click check for updates, I get an error that says update error. An error occurred in retrieving update information. Please try again later. So I don't know if we just don't have the appcast XML configured for our license app engines server or routes or whatever, but I need you to go look at all the code and find out where we're at with that. The documentation for this can be found at this URL. Oh. All right. So we now have a demo app working. We are generating licenses, certificates that are cryptographically secure using ED25519. We verify that the device is registered to a machine. We verify that using the serial number of the machine. We verify that using a private key generated and stored in the keychain. And we verify using the secure enclave that Macs have. I doubt there's a licensing key generation software out there that does that kind of in-depth checking. And you, as a macOS app developer, maybe can go in when you configure your product and determine what level you want required for people to use your app. Maybe you don't even want people to have to register their app to the machine. Maybe we should add that as a feature so it's not even required. You just generate a certificate and that certificate is good forever. That might be an idea. Let's add that to our list. I think that might actually be good. Okay, so what we need to do is go into our project. And we need to go in here. We need to go into our to-dos because we actually have not looked at those today. What was I doing? Look at our to-dos. All right, so we did this stuff yesterday. We let GLM run wild, and then once our GPT Codex Pro plan whatever reset, we had it review. I think it's good to go now. Let's go. Let's go. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Fix that. Okay. So now what we want to do, we need to make sure that the license app engine allows for a seller to configure their product requirements in such a way that a user could be granted a license and that license one never needs to be regenerated again because it will be good forever. And two, that license should be able to be used on any number of machines. And maybe if like we generate a license like that, we don't even require the library to check back in and like do updates or like see, maybe that we consider that like a good forever license that never needs to be refreshed or anything like that. And we should make sure that the product window, when they're on like the edit product screen in the license app, that it's a simple, super clear UI, so that when someone checks that, all the other fields that would not be necessary aren't being shown anymore. And we're just gonna put all one line because why not? The AI doesn't care if there's lines. Okay, so the other extension thing is now created. We have a handoff. We'll try that later. I don't want to do that right now, so I'll just move that over. And then see, Spark was wired up into the demo app, but it only has a scaffold. The update error is expected because the app points at a placeholder feed that does not exist. That's why it's pointing at example.com. Okay, yes, I want to do that, but I think that our license app engine should be able to serve up the appcast XML. So my vision for this is that a seller can go and basically update maybe like the current revision. Um, and they should also be able to set like the URL where the new update can be downloaded from. And then that way people's apps only have to hit our license app server to get that app cast and check to see if they need to update. Does that make sense? If you have any questions, ask and I'll clarify. But otherwise, I want you to make sure that this is in a spec somewhere, and the other things that you recommended for the next implementation path should also be in the spec. And this should just be like, we should probably have like a Sparkle update spec or something that just contains all the information about, updating the app with Sparkle in the license app engine. All right, let's go. I had a feeling it was like just not even pointing at the right URL, so that's good to know. Gives me an idea, actually. Check to see. One more thing, we should also have in the demo app like a section that basically shows all the information about the Sparkle stuff, so we know like what URL is trying to hit for updates or what URL it would use, and anything else like necessary to just debug anything related to the Sparkle updates in the demo app. And we should probably make sure that that information is in the spec as well. I want you to create a goal to do all of these things that we've been discussing. And I want you to make sure the goal includes validating them with tests, and the test must pass. and we should probably like run the app and try doing an update ourselves before marking the goal complete. In fact, I want you to do that before you mark the goal complete. I probably should go back, use the tree feature, take the last two prompts, put them into the first one so it's all in just one place. So I'm not giving the model whiplash, but I don't care. I think it's going to work just fine, so we'll let it run. You've been following along since, I don't know what it was, maybe day 4 that we started building this license app server. Holy smokes. I bet no one ever thought that something so simple would take so long to be vibe coded. It's not my fault. It's the AI's fault. It's the one doing the coding. We're just watching. All right, y'all. While this goes and it implements all of the stuff for updates, I'm going to take a short break. Be back in 10 to 15 minutes. You're welcome to continue following along. All right. We are back, guys. We're back. What happened? Were you watching? I thought you were supposed to be watching. Oh man. I'm gonna have to go back and review this myself. All right, so it looks like it's adding all the stuff we asked for. It's already compacted twice. Wild. Now wait till we have context windows that are larger. It's gonna be the day, man. Right. I think at this point we're probably not building anything that people really care about. It's not sexy, it's just a way to sell stuff, so we're gonna have to make something sexy. And not like one of those AI characters that dance around your screen either. That's kind of just creepy. All right, hold on. You guys like peanut butter and jelly? I just had one and got it in my beard. So, sneaky. Computer, make this AI faster. Come on. All right, so if you're just tuning in, well, you're seeing RuboCop. So I'm just going to go over that. We have a linter in here because I don't want the AI slapping up my code base. So I have specific, there's like literally a program that checks the code that it writes to make sure that it looks good and it's written the way that I like it. Which is important as a vibe coder who doesn't look at the code anymore. I feel like we need to change up the beat, you know, we just need to get a little faster up in here. You guys feel it, huh? Something faster? Picking up. All right, while it's doing that, let's check out what we have next. So this license thing, anywhere we're setting the device binding policy, we're saving things like, let's see, device bound or secure enclave. We should probably specify just fix those. Oh, we did that one. We did this one. Check that off. Right. There is already a config entered and being used for the client configuration. We should display that. Just did that this morning. Nice job. Let's go. Best Sparkle updates. We're kind of doing that right now, aren't we? By the way, I think that licensed product workspace smoke test is the worst possible name you could come up with to be descriptive of what the tests are. If you're going to create system tests, then they shouldn't have the word smoke in them anyway. Also, that doesn't tell me what this, like, you should be describing the feature or a controller or something that it's testing, not just some generic licensed product workspace. What is that? Come on, make good decisions. You're smart. Hey, degrees. I think what I'm going to do is require a user to pass a valid license into the Appcast URL so that people can't just scan through all the Appcast URLs to download all the software. I think we should require, in fact, the Appcast URL should require a license to be passed with it, a valid license, and we should validate it that it's a valid license. So it's like a valid customer purchased this license, because that way someone can't like request updates that doesn't have a valid license. I want you to create tests for this too to ensure it's working properly. We might actually run out of codex usage somehow. I don't know. Like, I don't I don't understand how some days we make it through and other days we don't. Somehow gonna run out today. Run out in this session before we get to the end. It's not like these other things are still running. trying to talk less today because I almost lost my voice yesterday during that stream. That, and it's been kind of boring here, waiting for the AI to finish writing our code for us. Kind of miss the high of writing code, you know? That where you had to like dig deep in your brain and hold all these moving pieces together in it. And then your program would work and you get like this shot of endorphins, you know? Just, those were some awesome days, let me tell you. Okay, so it just compacted and we're already at 30%. %. But it's using a computer use tool. Let's switch over and watch it use the tool. What do you think? Cool, cool. So it looks like it triggered an update. No? I guess it'd be better if that better? Let me know if that's better. Make me way more confused. Got an idea. I gotta make this better. Let's see. Okay, so it looks like it went through, it implemented the appcast endpoint that we needed. It looks like it's doing a review of that stuff now. I think this is a good time for me to pass in my prompt of what it is that we want here. So we want it to add like authorization via a license that the user already has. So basically we should ensure that the appcast URL has proper authorization based on a license that the user already has. And we can do this because we don't send out the initial license via the appcast URL. So this is only for updates anyway. So as long as a user has a valid license from any, like to register to any machine, it doesn't really matter. They just need a valid license. Then we can verify that license, and then we can, you know, give them let them download an update. The only thing I want to consider is maybe we don't want to have them transmitting their license over the wire every time. Maybe there's like a better way we can do this where they can just give us some sort of proof that they have a license. Like we ship a public key, don't we, in the app that we use to verify the license? So maybe they can use that to like encrypt or sign their license and send that back to us. And then, nah, but that won't work because we don't hold on to their license. I don't know. Look at what we've got and try and think if there's a good way that we can have them, we can authorize the appcast URL, the route, so that not anyone can just request the update appcast route, only if you have a valid license. She'll wait a second. Yeah, let's back up here. I'm gonna hold on to that prompt. Let's go back and put it in here. What's our up next one? This is why we have the tree thing, because now I'm gonna go like this. Because there were some like valid findings, and I just basically made it forget them. Just there. Now it'll finish its review, then I will give it the thumbs. So I think what we may end up needing to do is something like they generate a certificate signing request. They send it to us. We sign it. We get it back. Then they would need to be able to validate that certificate has been signed. But then that would mean that they can also sign from then on something that they send back to us for the appcast URL. And we would know that it's valid because we signed the original. I don't know. Just I mean, if we actually are sending our public key, like if we're pinning the public key in the code, then in theory they should be able to encrypt their license with our public key, send it back to us, and then we verify their license. If they already did this. Okay, we got it. Now I'm gonna pass in my prompt. See what it comes up with. Before we do that, get a git commit. Okay, create a git commit. I want you to start creating git commits on your own. Like when you're done like this, create a git commit and push the branch up. You're the only one working on this work tree, so there are no prior changes. Everything in this is changes you've made. So commit everything and push it all up. All right, so now we are at the point of this thing finally being prompted to be passed a license. Let's see what it comes up with. It's like you shouldn't be able to request an update to an app if you haven't purchased the app and you don't have a valid license for the app. Okay, let's see what it came up with. It says, it's public right now, unauthenticated splits. We need Sparkle Updater HTTP headers, can attach headers, so we can send a request on HTTP header. We would not need to put secrets in query params. That's always a good idea because sometimes query params get logged out by loggers. Signed server issued certificate or proof signed with a private device key. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Pre-flight, short-lived app custom. App calls licensed dev first using existing license validation. Device proof gets a short-lived opaque token, then Sparkle touches appcast with authorization of the token. Sparkle can use query frames, but yes, finds the certificate plus signs the appcast request with the existing device provider. Okay, so client proves it as a valid registered license using stored license signed certificate, activation license product IDs. Timestamp nods device binding signature when available. The nods is a good idea. I actually probably would have forgotten about that. But it means that someone can't like replay to get the any given request to get the update on the right provided. So like they couldn't manage all the traffic and just use that packet forever to get updates. Certificate signature with license signing key, product match, activation is active generation. I guess that return short token. Only the appcast is not fully protected on its own. The archive URL is public and later shared. A stronger follow-up is to have listen up, put a short-lived signed download redirect URL to appcast. Yeah, I think we should do all of those things, including put a short-lived signed download redirect URL into the appcast too. Let's go with your recommendation. But before we go with your recommendation, can you tell me why we would need to post to appcast authorizations instead of just providing the same proof that we would put in the body of the post request by maybe like putting it in the authorization header? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. We barely used this thing today. Well, I guess that's that for the next 1 hour and 48 minutes, because I do not trust GLM to properly do authorization things. Oh, that's annoying. Okay. Guess we will resume in 1 hour and 48 minutes, friends. Till then, may the tokens be ever in your favor, because they were not in mine today. Someone want to explain to me how these tokens burn so much faster, because I do not understand. That's it. I'm out. Catch y'all later.